Off the top, something that was really interesting and very exciting, and I think a lot of people were pretty stoked about it, was the release of HIP-920. Shout out to the Hashgraph NFT working group. They've been working really, really hard on stuff, and I wanted to just quickly pull this up, and we'll just take a quick peek at this. But yeah, this is HIP-920. This is music metadata standards for NFTs on Hedera, and the group we can see here. We've got Ty from Swirlds and Andrew from TuneFM and Vicente from Vicizi and Tyler from HashPack and Ash from Swirlds and Milan from APs and Joshua, my good pal, and we, and other folks in the group worked together. The community really came together on this. So this is really big. I've talked everyone's ear off about it on previous episodes, but just wanted to say great job to that whole group. This is an official HIP now. So if you're building music stuff on Hedera, check it out. Also too, this was kind of wild. My foray into a little bit more software development and different stuff like that. But on that same day, which was really exciting, at Hgraph, where I work, if folks are unfamiliar, we were able to publish version 1.2.0 of the Hedera WalletConnect with, again, another round of applause for the Hedera WalletConnect working group. Again, people just coming together and building software for the ecosystem, stuff that we need, right? By the community, for the community. So just shout out to those folks. And this was super exciting to see come out. Also, I've seen that it appears as though Charles is the president of Hedera. He may have got his Twitter back. So he's been tweeting a bunch of stuff, and I'm definitely going to chat about that later. But definitely there's some moves happening, it seems. And it's good to see. But I'll definitely say I'm very aware of what's happening on social media this morning. It's exciting stuff. Also really quick, shout out to HashPack. I just saw the news last week that they've kind of got the runway going to get on Gate.io exchange. And I mean, Gate has 1.5 million followers on X, and the Pack token will be listed on Gate, which is a leading tier 1 exchange. So this is big. And I mean, this is kind of what we were talking about with Saucer Swap, some of the other projects in the ecosystem, and some different things in that regard. And we're starting to definitely see, more of these HTS tokens on centralized exchanges becoming more accessible. So I think that's like so important, and that's great to see. So shout out to HashPack on that. Also too, a Hedera use case that I literally just quickly mentioned, but it looks like TuneFM got a mention in Rolling Stone, which Rolling Stone magazine, which was really great. I mean, we've seen Galaxy mentioned in Rolling Stone, we've seen TuneFM now mentioned in Rolling Stone. So it seems that Rolling Stone has a series called Culture Council, and they're basically tapping into some more of this crypto Web3 type stuff. I know Galaxy has had some pieces there. So that's been really, really good to see. Good morning to Bones. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for tuning in. It's great to have you here. Genfinity, always a shout out to Genfinity. You guys have been just doing incredible stuff. It was actually really, really awesome to be on. We were on a Spaces recently. I was on a Spaces with Genfinity recently. We interviewed Neuron, also with the HBAR Bull. That was a fascinating conversation. What Neuron is working on with kind of the everything map. I think I talked a little bit about it last week, but that was a super cool Spaces last Tuesday that Genfinity did with Neuron and myself and the HBAR Bull. Go listen to that. It was really, really cool. But shout out to Genfinity. Hederian Z, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. So good to have you tuning in. No Man, Great to see you saying hello, and sorry you can't join today, but the replay, of course, will be available. That's one nice thing about folks that like can't tune in live. You know, we've got the replay on podcast platforms and YouTube and X and all that stuff. Paul, good morning. How you doing? Yeah, I mean, Genfinity, I imagine this is King Solomon Ryan behind the handle, but yeah, it's what, like, we hear the Web 2.5 buzzword, and I think that, you know, it is what it is, but the conversation with Neuron, I think, really kind of recontextualized that for me. So that was a really valuable conversation with Neuron. Also, too, just kind of on the random breadcrumb front, I always like a few little breadcrumbs here. So on the Hedera subreddit, on the Hedera subreddit community, there was a post made that outlines a new topic ID on the Hedera mainnet and potentially what it could be about. And of course, folks are speculating that could it be this use case? Could it be that use case? And one of those, obviously, you know, rumored use cases is FSCO, right? Fresh Supply Company. And that's one that we've been talking about quite a bit, especially on this show, and I think in the ecosystem, with their integrations with MasterCard and different supply chain type stuff, along with the, you know, in the food system. And it really kind of gets you thinking. So there's obviously a lot of speculation about what this could be, but for whatever it's worth on this, you know, FSCO themselves, you know, responds with the, you know, with the quiet, the lip zipped emoji. So whatever that means, maybe they have nothing to say. Maybe it has nothing to do with them. Maybe it does. I don't know. I found FSCO to be a little cheeky here and there. Also, too, we got some news regarding a potential electronically traded product on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, HBAR. So, I mean, a lot of people you know, of course, have been talking about the Bitcoin ETF and all what all that entails. And of course, everyone's talking about an Ethereum ETF and whatever else ETF is the buzzword. Which is exciting, but of course, people in the ecosystem are like, hey, you know, what about an HBAR ETF? And it feels very far-fetched. In my opinion, I've always kind of been like, well, that's quite a far ways away. But ETPs are, you know, very, you know, pretty much similar. It's an exchange-traded product backed by whatever asset. And, you know, as we see in the announcement here that's been passed around the ecosystem, in just a couple days here, the 18th, so just another 6 days, there will be an HBAR ETP listed on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. So that's a kind of a big move. And something else that was pointed out by a frequent listener of the show, and I'm a huge fan of them, HBAR Tata, just highlighted that the company that is going to be doing this is Valor Funds. And we know kind of this face from, X Pomp, right? He's an advisor to them. And he's been on interviews, and recently he said, the more risk that is present, the more someone on Wall Street will seek out the opportunity. Wall Street investors are going to flock to the altcoin market the same way that they flocked to zero-day options. So, you know, if we look at breadcrumbs, if we look at different stuff like that, who knows? But there's definitely, maybe some dots to connect, maybe some things like that.